You have push day legs, quad dominant.
Yep.
And then there's the pull day legs, which would be hip dominant, which would focus on your hamstrings mainly. So who better than Doug Miller to help us figure out what to do on that day?
So we're going to do a ton of different hamstring exercises. I usually like to start with curls before I get into the more of the compound movements, like some of the deadlifts or the lunges or things like that. And I always like to hit a little bit of quad ham tie-in stuff on my hamstring day as well. So there will be a little bit of quad work in here, but we're going to start out with just laying curls, starting out with a pretty lightweight, 20 reps, just until we get the blood going.
It's a pull dominant day. That doesn't mean we can't push though.
In the rear. Nice. We just did 7 or 8 sets on the laying, 4 sets on the
12
seated.
Sets in.
Now we're going to do standing, just hitting hamstrings just by a different angle. Now on this one, you know, at this point in time, my hamstring is pretty pumped, so even contracting past there, even without a weight, is pretty hard.
I had trouble curling that all the way down. You got to realize 8 sets of leg curls. We got core pump in our system. We got pre-workout. We want also, what we didn't show is we did pillar prep and movement prep for a good 30 minutes. So by this time, blood's flowing, our body's going. We had what, 100 grams of carbs pre-workout. Yeah. We feel it.
So on this, you'll notice, I mean, it's just not physically possible. It might look like a half rep, but I'm fully like contracting my hamstring at about right there. So that's usually the range of motion I do on
Sounds like an excuse to me. Lots of anal. Warm-up set. Let me explain to you a Romanian deadlift. A straight leg deadlift I don't really think really exists because as it would imply, you're doing a straight leg deadlift. I think what most people do or should be doing is a Romanian.
Yeah, if you notice my leg, I know what you're gonna say. Yeah. Exactly, right?
Push back with the hips.
Yeah, and your knees are gonna be slightly bent. Like doing like this is terrible for your knees. Like hyperextending your knee like that.
And also think about it. If your leg is completely straight, where's your pressure gonna be? Quads. You have to tighten your quads to straighten your legs to flex your knee, to extend your knee. When your leg is slightly bent, that activates your hamstrings. So if you are doing a straight leg, as the name implies, you're really gonna.
You want to do a Romanian. You should do it.
Yeah, it's. Well, I will. Even when I write programs, I write SLDL.
Right.
That's just because it's what it's known as. But in reality, it's a Romanian deadlift. With a superset of vertical leg press, you can use horizontal. We just really wanted to use this. And then you're gonna see Doug do some walking lunges.
This makes you breathe. Yep. Finishing with some adductors, or abductors I should say here. I actually throw abductors at the end of all my hamstring workouts and glute workouts, and I throw the adductors on all my quad workouts. Most people don't skip these machines because they think they're the girly machines, but you put some serious weight on here, it really helps build all the stabilizers, all the full muscles. And then when you diet down, you see guys that have gaps in between your legs. You know, you want the full adductor outer sweep as well.
I thought we were going for the thigh gap, bro. That's what I'm nowadays.
No. So today we're working more, so that's what I do on the quad day, is the inner thigh. On this, I'm really trying to squeeze the glutes, get the tie-ins, glute hand tie-ins.
Well, let's be real here. I mean, we're working pretty much the back side of our legs. So if you're working your glutes to show the back side, go do me a favor. Abduct your leg. You're gonna feel activation right here. That's what we're doing. As an alternative, you guys have seen me demonstrate the band work, where you do the lateral bands. That's a very similar movement. So if your gym is basic and doesn't have this, you can always do the hip lateral band work that I've shown you.
Just finished hams and glutes. Now we're gonna do about 6 to 8 sets of calves. I always hit calves twice a week. I'll do them on my quad day and then again on my hamstring day. I don't think you have to train them every day or 3 days a week if you're trying to bring up your calves either, but I've trained them probably twice a week, every week for the last 20 years. I don't have huge calves, but I have, you know, they're decently shaped, but you can always have bigger. On this, I usually stay pretty high rep on this. I mean, I still go pretty heavy. And the one thing about this is I have some a little bit of Achilles issues, so I don't stretch all the way at the bottom. And I just really go to the range of motion where I'm feeling it in my calves. So this is a complete mind muscle, you know. So this is just like what I was saying with biceps, that you got to train in the range of motion that you feel comfortable. So on this, I don't do an extreme stretch on the bottom. You know, I go until I really feel it pulling, and then I push up.